Anti-psychiatry, does it do more harm than good? It's the Bipolar Index, we're cataloging madness, and today we're flipping to A. Anti-psychiatry is a pretty controversial way to start this series. The movement is often seen as fringe, outside the consensus, and filled with a mix of flat earth types and former insiders now critical of the field. It doesn't help that at the height of the movement in the 60s, it welcomed unlikely figures like L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. But what are anti psychiatry's founding principles and how has it impacted our lives today? Italy's Basaglia, Francis Foucault, Britain's Lang, the US's Sass, and Canada's Goffman. These thinkers questioned how much power psychiatry had to confine people and to impose treatment, and then also how social norms shape what we know as mental illness back then until today. Some argue that severe mental distress shouldn't always be treated only as a medical problem, especially because trauma and social inequities complicate treatment. Sass even challenged whether psychiatric diagnoses have a basis in science. And Foucault and Goffman pointed out that institutions that have an authority to impose norms are really not based on any sort of objective truth, but rather society's values. None of this denies that suffering is real or that treatment can be helpful. But it does ask whether labels sometimes pathologize people who are really just struggling under social and economic pressures. And they also point out how to provide care ethically. It's no secret that psychiatry's biomedical model has contributed to some serious crimes. Exclusion, neglect, coercion, abuse. Think here about the straitjacket, electroconvulsion therapy, the padded cell, lobotomies, and my favorite cocktail, Haldol to the butt. And while those thinkers have led to better conditions for those who experience mental distress, the movement of the hour really has argued that the field of psychiatry has just garnered too few positive results to justify certain measures, especially as we think through its participation in the carceral system today. And that deserves its own video. There's a substantial push today that makes us try to understand how we can talk about mental illness in a way that focuses on our real life circumstances, supports our rights, helps us stay independent, and reduces stigma in a way that actually includes our voices. Anti-psychiatry and more recent fields of activism have really sought to center everyday people's lives, especially as we rethink mental difference and suffering as part of the human condition. I mean, if you live in a harmful world plagued by structural violence, poverty, alienation, and chronic stress, it seems only logical that one would experience some brain strain. But how is the boundary between madness and everyday distress socially constructed? That's a question for another episode.